As we move forward, the breakdowns continue. Gotta be repetitive. Gotta get the information out there. Les Binks, former drummer for Judas Priest, dead at age 73. Binks played on 2 late-70s LPs, Stained Class and Killing Machine, and Priest's landmark live record, Unleashed in the East. They say that's the landmark live record. And On the Fly, Unleashed in the East, you get 73 right there in the reduction cipher, and Les Binks dead at age 73. All right. And that other album, Stained Class and Killing Machine, you see how this connects with a previous story with this fellow getting deported back to El Salvador that's trending in the news, Kilmar Abrego Garcia 119. And also, what else equals 119? Suicide. Oh, you're not seeing it. Now you are. Suicide's got the 119. Like Stained Class and Killing Machine, Kilmar Abrego Garcia with the deportation trending. Suicide, Kyron Lacey, they say an apparent suicide. Ex-LSU wide receiver. So you see how those numbers hit. And here's that 73 right there. Boom, 73. You may have seen it, but there it is again with that album, 73. And Les Binks dead at 73, all right?
Judas Priest's former drummer Les Binks has died at the age of 73, the band confirmed in a heartfelt tribute. Binks, who played a pivotal
They're saying no cause of death given. No surprise, right?
role in shaping the group's sound during the late 1970s, passed away peacefully at a hospital in London on March 15th. The band praised Binks as a first-class drumming legend, highlighting his unique techniques, flair, style, and precision, and expressed their deep sadness at his passing, sending love to his family, friends, and fans.
All right.
In shaping the group's
Okay, and I think it's interesting that we just had the death of this priest right here. An Oklahoma man has been charged with murder in the fatal shooting of a beloved Kansas priest. That's interesting that that was trending just not long ago. And now we get the death of this drummer, Les Binks, Judas Priest, right? Here he is. And, this pic pulls up here with Judas Priest. There's these two guys that look almost identical here. I don't know which one's which. But one of them is Les Binks. Binks, excuse me. That's interesting because Binks, it does rhyme with Brink. And remember, Cameron Brink was drafted last year's WNBA draft. And we just had the WNBA draft on Monday. One day before this death. So that's pretty interesting right there. You see that? And there's more on that. So look at that. As the WNBA draft is trending, we get Bink like Brink. And we're 1 year removed from Cameron Brink going in the draft, as I just caught that on the fly. And again, Les Binks passes 1 day after this year's WNBA draft. Something with the 73, dead at age 73 also. That 7337 has been popping up a lot lately, and you see how it connects with this live album And notice with Unleashed in the East, you get 190, which is also like 19. And I showed you the 119 connections earlier. Look, even Denver Nuggets equals 190, like Unleashed in the East. And the Denver Nuggets are trending because Josh Kroenke fired the GM and the coach. I think his first name's Josh, but I just did that story as well. And look, even Unleashed in the East connects with 2025 NBA draft. Wow, that's amazing. So we get a lot of these things on the fly, but something else with that 73. Look, sacrifice equals 73. Okay? You see it right there. That's also Tom Cruise's birthday, he's got some new movies coming out. And remember, we had Val Kilmer passing connected to Tom Cruise as well, and a lot of other stories as well. But Sacrifice has that 73 also, okay? So here he is. We do know this is Les Brinks right here. And I said earlier, a cause of death not revealed, though a funeral notice said Binks died peacefully at a hospital in London. We are deeply saddened about the passing of Les and send our love to his family, friends, and fans, Judas Priest wrote. The acclaimed drumming he provided was first class, demonstrated with his unique techniques, flair, style, and precision. Thank you, Les. Your acclaim will live on. Though his tenure in the band was short, Binks left an incredible mark on Judas Priest. His exacting, dynamic style of play, as swift as it was pummeling, helped define the sound of Judas Priest's 78 album, Stained Class, 79's Killing Machine, also known as Hell Bent for Leather, and their live album, Unleashed in the East. That's interesting because you think about East, in sports. I mentioned the WNBA. That's interesting, right? Because you have like an Eastern and Western conference as well, and all of this stuff connects. Okay. When Judas Priest was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022, Binks was on hand to accept the prize and perform with the band. So they've had multiple members, I guess, and multiple drummers. After Binks' exit in '79, Dave Holland would take over as the band's drummer until 1989. Since then, Scott Travis. That's interesting because there's a guy named Travis Scott, right? I told you all of this stuff is connected. Since then, Scott Travis has become Judas Priest's long-standing drummer, having over 3 decades behind the kit and 6 studio albums with the band. That's interesting, right? Scott Travis, like Travis Scott. Ooh, and look at Travis Scott's birthday is right around the corner. Jesus, look at that. So let's look at Scott Travis now. Man, right? Okay. Dude kind of looks like, I don't know, Alice Cooper vibes maybe. Mark Scott Travis there. But let's get back to and what about the lead singer? Here's the lead. They've had 3 lead singers even. Rob Halford, Tim Owens, Al Atkins. Okay, so multiple players here. Let's pull this back up. So look at all these 15s. James Leslie Binks, the full name, you get 15. Dies on the 15th. Judas Priest, 155, in reverse, like 15. And he's born in 1951. 51 would be the 15 reverse. OMG. He dies in London on the 74th day of the year. London equals 74. Judas Priest equals 74. He dies in his 74th year of life. When you're 73, when you're born, you're 0, right? You live a year, you turn 1. but it's your second year of life. So if you're 73, you're in your 74th year of life. Check that out. We had this other drummer, Clem Burke, die. Okay. He was in Blondie and the Ramones. Another drummer. Look at the 74 connection. Blondie active from 1974. You see that? And we get two death dates with this guy. The original death date, the 7th day of the 4th month. So you see the 74 connection with Les Binks, this drummer, and Burke B. And you get 5 letters. Binks B, 5 letters. You see that? With the 74 connection and the deaths of these drummers. Check that out. Here's the other death date for Clem Burke. They changed it to April 6th now on Google. But originally they had April 7. You see that? And of course, this death, and it seems like all of these trending stories connected to Donald Trump. You know, Trump equals 47, right? And there's more. London equals 88. Les Binks, birthday, August 8, 8/8. Trump equals 88. So you see how London connects with the 74. Judas Priest 74, London 74, dead in the 74th year of life on the 74th day of the year. But London's got the 88, which connects with Trump and connects with this guy's birthday, August 8. You see that? James Leslie Binks. Wouldn't you know? The upcoming birthday for Les Binks, the 220th day of the year, Donald John Trump equals 220 in the reverse cipher. It doesn't mean you're going to find a story with Judas Priest and Trump and Les Binks. It means that the world is fake and we're lumped up in categories by the language, okay? And these letters have numerical values. I prove it every day. There may be something to Judas, what that refers to with Trump, possibly. We can go look at that on the fly. Explain Judas. Wow, look at that. A son of James. And ooh, on the fly. Look at that. A son of James. This dude's name is James Leslie Binks. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. And look, I just saw something else. One of the 12 apostles, traitor, especially one who betrays under the guide of friendship. Look, one of the 12 is like 112. Look at right here. Donald equals 112. OM freaking G, y'all. I'm telling you, this is why I have no problem doing this. Because this is the real deal, okay? This code is legit. We're losing characters by the numbers. And that 220 hit with this other story I mentioned earlier with those other connections. They deported the dude called Kilmar Garcia back to El Salvador. They had accused him of being an MS-13 gang member. Go check that breakdown. I mean, it just hit, right? On my channel. Look, so you see the Donald John Trump with the 220, MS-13 gang member 220. And again, August 8, James Leslie Binks, drummer of Judas Priest, his upcoming birthday, the 220th day of the year. Look at that. And I mentioned earlier, Binks was on hand to accept the prize and perform with the band. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022, so you get those same numbers. And don't forget Trump 2020. T's the 20th letter of the alphabet. His last birthday left 200 days in the year. I know that. Okay, so it's like amazing. We're not done because Les Binks, he dies 146 days before the August 8th birthday. And that's Trump's birthday, 146, the 14th day of the 6th month. So this is undeniable. And he was a member of Judas Priest and drummer from 77 to 79. Trump is in his 79th year of life right now. United States equals 77. You see, the deeper you go, it connects. You understand? Right? Even James Leslie Binks, the full name, 165, that's in the ABC 123 cipher. Apply the code like that. Trump's upcoming birthday, the 165th day of the year. I think all of this is because Trump's trending with positive energy being the president. So a lot of this stuff connected to him by the numbers, you're going to see a downfall, and death is one of the biggest downfalls somebody could face. We don't know if they're actually passing or if their characters are just being removed as some kind of story and their role is finished, and it all balances with the connection to Trump, and it keeps the world like the same. You understand? It keeps everything the same over so long with these patterns. Keeps people in control because it's hard to manage a lot of people, right? But if you have some kind of code, think about it. When you're born, there's numbers, days immediately attached to you, okay? And a lot of things that you do, think about it. There's data, right? Your phone. I've been experiencing this lately where I've been checking out some different topics in my feed, YouTube or whatever. Maybe something pops up on like Facebook or something. You be scrolling. We got this algorithm that's connected with us. It starts from somewhere. Some say maybe it's things you search, but I've noticed also that is true, but things will just pop up all of a sudden and you'll click on it. And then once you click on it, you're in there. Do you understand? Now I got a whole different algorithm popping up in my feed. So, man, what a fake world we're living in, y'all. It's kind of creepy, it is slightly depressing. I mean, you just have to kind of make it work for you.
Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility, here to report the apparent death of former Judas Priest drummer Les Binks. Of course, the great Irish drummer. He was born July 1951, passed away apparently about a month ago, March 15th, here in 2025 at the age of 73. Not quite sure why they kept it quiet for so long, but the news was just kind of making its way out there today, even though it appears he passed away like a month ago. Of course, Les played on the seminal Judas Priest albums, Stained Glass, Hellbent for Leather, and of course the Live Unleashed in the East album. That would be his kind of big claim to fame. He had played with other bands here and there. He was on the Butterfly Ball, Roger Glover's Butterfly Ball, played with Eric Burden and War and whatnot, but looked to be making a comeback with KK Downing's KK's Priest. Did a live show and was going to appear on the first album, but then he had a wrist injury and they wound up getting another drummer, and that was kind of that. So yeah, we're not really sure why he passed away or what from, I should say. But to me, still probably my favorite drummer in the career of Judas Priest. And again,
Pretty shady, right? Nothing, no explanation. thumbnail hits. I mean, I guess it comes with the territory. You're going to have these successes and, you know, these downfall. Everything's got to balance out. That's why they always, you know, you're not hearing this information from me and me only, okay? I'm not on an island alone here. Anybody who watches YouTube, you know, they're letting a lot of this stuff out there. It's just people are so distracted with their phones and freaking TikTok and Instagram that it seems like nobody really cares anymore. And that's what the society seems to come to, or has come to, right? But yeah, I'll scan the article real quick before we get out of here. I appreciate being able to put this out there. I know this information's going somewhere. And oh yeah, I forgot they shut me out of the article. I was able to use it for the breakdown, but then when I tried going back to the article, now it's asking me to subscribe. I'm not. No, I'm done because you know, you sign up for this stuff and then you're locked in. You know, you're getting unwanted emails, you're connected, right? And I remember this first happening with grocery markets, like, oh, give us your email to get this card and you get savings on your groceries. And then, you know, they have your email, right? And then your email is attached to your account, your Google account, your phone. I remember it. That's where I remember this stuff all starting, okay? And this guy dies on tax day, right? Something had to give, right? Something was owed. Even taxes equals 15. Check that out. In a fake world, taxes equals 15. Les Binks dead on the 15th. Born in 51. Remember, Judas Priest equals 155 like 15. James Leslie Binks 105 like 15. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so I just wanted to get another one in for y'all. Undeniable connections here. Has there been any kind of update? How did Les Binks die? No cause of death was revealed. Still. Okay, so shout out to y'all. I'll put the energy out there. Drop comments. Let me know what you think. Former drummer of Judas Priest, dead at 73, Les Binks. RIP. Until next time.